everybody. Uh, January 18th of 2020. This is, oh God, age. This is my 15 minutes. A nightly, you know, just a nightly moment. I lost track, actually. Anyway, as we have talked about before, I do this once a day. Today's my 18th day. I started on the 1st of January, and the channel is called the Old Folks Boogie 2. Just a play on a Little Feat song. But I have mentioned before in one of the previous postings that I'm pretty much of a bargain hunter. And I spent a lot of my life in the automobile business and learned to hunt for automobiles in a particular way. And I'm pretty good at it. Pretty good at finding them, pretty good at on my own end. Not always. I've made mistakes, sure. But I've made some really good winners. Unfortunately, I've lost two of the greatest ones that I got in the last 10 years. And I'm going to tell that story tonight just because it's so twisted in its own way. The first one involves I was working for Montgomeryville Acura at the time, and it involves the purchase of a 99 TL, a 1999 Acura TL 3.2, a beautiful car, had 150,000 miles on it, but it had been so well taken care of. And when I bought it from the gentleman and his wife, I bought it mainly because Sam and Anne Marie were of driving age then, and Sam was getting ready to go to college, and so I bought it, made sure we had an extra vehicle in the house, and I didn't pay a lot of money for it. I only paid $1,500. But when I managed to get it into the shop, I agreed to buy the car. It came into the shop, and it was discovered that it had a bad transmission. However, that transmission was covered under an extended warranty from a previous transmission installation that had since gone bad. So Acura was going to eat the whole thing. They did eat the whole thing. I shouldn't say they were going to. They did. They stood up. They took care of it. So I ended up with a 99 3.2 TL for $1,500 with a $3,500 transmission installed for free. So I was very happy. And I drove that car, and then, unfortunately, one morning on Sam's way out of here to go off to Montgomery County Community College, not even a few hundred yards down the street, he rolled it and totaled it. That took care of that. You can't replace, a $3,500 transmission job or whatever that, the cost of that thing was at the time. So, just a lucky moment, got a lucky car. Unfortunately, karma has a way of turning its back on people, and it took the car away. And it happened this year too. I mean, it amazingly enough. I'm laughing about it, but it's not funny to me. I love this car. I had been searching. We have a hybrid Lincoln MKZ, 2011, beautiful car. Got it off my cousin Martha when she was done with it, and it's been a great car ever since. Just terrific. So I like hybrids. My brother David has a hybrid. We just like hybrids. I like gas mileage. I like getting good gas mileage. I hate getting bad gas mileage, but most of the vehicles I own get crap for miles. I have a 2008 SRX Cadillac, and I got rid of the Yukon for that, and it gets the same mileage as the Yukon, and the Yukon had 10 times the room that this thing has. I've got a Hyundai Sonata that gets decent mileage, 4-cylinder, and then I've got a Ranger too, a Ford Ranger older, 6-cylinder that gets crap for miles as well. So having a hybrid is it's a thrill, really. Getting 30 plus miles a gallon in Susan's car. And then I found A beautiful 2014 Lincoln MKZ hybrid out in Reading. Hate to do that. I actually had been looking for a while for the 450H, for a good deal on a 450H Lexus. Uh, but as things happened, my sister found one in Texas, and I didn't want to duplicate that exactly. So I started looking for something else, and I found another MKZ hybrid, but a 2014 newer model than what we have, but basically the same car. Nice changes they made, the trunk changes, they changed positioning of the hybrid system and the batteries for it, and so there was some, in that model year difference, those few model years difference, they had made some significant improvements, and they really were nice. I mean, believe me when I tell you, the push button dash, it had a push. I love that push button dash. If you look at an MKZ, just on the dash. There's a console, but there's no shift lever. It's all right there, and it's all digital, and everything's in front of you, and it was great. It had everything. It was nav. I mean, it was a beautiful car, and it got 38 miles to the gallon on average. I mean, just 38 miles a gallon. It's just what it got. 38.1, 38.3, whatever it was always 38 miles to the gallon. And it actually, in most cases, the math worked out when I put fuel in it and divided up the gallons by the miles driven. For the most part, it was, if the car said I was getting 38.6, the fill up in my division would turn out to be 37.8 or 38.1 or whatever it was. It was always right in the area, but a little bit less. It's hard to judge when you're putting gas in a car, but you can't do it the same every time, I find. You never know what you're going to get. So anyway, great car. Love this car. Took it on a trip down to the Jersey Shore over Memorial Day. We bought this in the spring, and so we had taken it on a trip down to the Jersey Shore. I mean, for the Memorial Day weekend, it was just terrific. We got great mileage. It was a comfortable car to have there. Just really, really love that car. And then stupidity happened, and karma got me again. Oh, I forgot to tell you one more thing. Bought the car in Reading. Nice dealership out there, Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealership. Really nice. They took care of me. There were some issues actually getting the car. Oh my goodness, when I first called about it said it was sold. Then I saw the ad 2 weeks later, it was still there, and I called again, and it wasn't sold. Then it was sold. Then it wasn't sold, and finally Susan and I went to take a look at it. Fell in love with it on a Saturday. We had already seen the pictures I had showed her. Everything was all arranged. All we needed to do was go. So we went, we got there, we loved the car, we made the deal, we made the purchase, we brought it home. The next Monday, I had an appointment. I took it off to Bergey's Lincoln over here in Lansdale, Pennsylvania. And that day, they took it in because I said to the guy that I bought it from, but it doesn't matter. I took it to Bergey's because even though I bought the car, I wanted it looked at. And so they took it in, and it turned out that it needed a transmission. And a hybrid transmission, $9,000 worth. But it was a certified car. Lincoln covered it, except for $100 that I had to pay. My deductible, $100 for a $9,000 transmission. They had it. They gave me a loaner, gave me a nice Lincoln. I don't remember which one it was. A little SUV. We drove that around for a couple of weeks while they did all this work. Took a while. It was not. They got the parts in. They had to get a Lincoln guy in. First off, they said to me, "We believe this needs a transmission, but we can't tell Lincoln that it does. They have to tell us that it does." We call them. They send a guy out. He looks at the transmission. If he agrees with their diagnosis, boom, you're in. So whatever it takes. I said and so he did that day. They got the guy in. He approved everything, and so they started ordering and didn't matter. We had something to drive. even if we didn't have a loaner car, we had plenty of vehicles here. At that time, I think I had 5 vehicles on the parking lot or some craziness. But anyway, and so here's a second car, bought it used, and got a good deal on it. Believe me, I got a price on that car. It was really, I don't know why it had gotten so low. I know that MKZ hybrids and others like that don't hold their value as well. People don't seem to appreciate them. But I do, and I appreciate the fact that other people don't, because then the price comes down and I got a really good deal. Anyway, we took delivery, then we got the transmission done, and then we started driving it, and we had a good time. We went to the shore, different things, and then I went to Allentown one day. I made a left turn in front of a guy, and it was my fault, and wham! Karma just struck me right in the right-hand side of the car. Right at the center post on both doors. The curtain airbag came down, big explosion, scared the hell out of me, because I had never heard an airbag before and didn't know what exactly it was at first, because I was smelling the gunpowder or whatever, the explosive that you used to set it off with, and there was all smoke in the passenger compartment of the car, and I thought, oh my God, am I on fire? And then finally it dawned on me, it took a couple of seconds, it dawned on me what had happened. But what really happened, and I tried to avoid it, I talked to anybody I could, but the car was eventually totaled. I lost that car. I lost that new transmission. I lost everything. So that's 2 cars that within 10 years, actually, within 10 years of each other, less than that. Less than 10 years. Get 2 used cars, both of them needing transmissions, and both of them being covered by the manufacturer. That, that just doesn't happen. It never happens. But it happened to me twice, but both times it got taken away. I mean, something good happens, something bad happens. I don't know what the actual story is or why things do the way they do, but I was really, I'm still devastated by the loss of that car. I loved that car. That was my car, personally. That was, the other Lincoln is Susan's. She actually went down to Atlanta to get it. She flew down and met with my cousin. We made the deal. She made the deal down there, and we drove the car back up here, and it's been her car. This Lincoln was my hybrid to drive. It was a family car. I mean, don't get me wrong, everything here is, we can. But anyway, it was my car, and it's gone. So now I'm back to driving vehicles that get crappy mileage. The Cadillac, if I have to, gets 14, 13, 12 even. And the Sonata gets better, but 21, 22, 23 is not 38. I can't go 450 or 500 miles in a small tank gas like I could in the Lincoln. So there's a big disappointment there. And of course the Ranger, which hardly gets driven right now, is a 4x4. It's a 4-liter V6, and it gets 12 miles a gallon too. So anyway, those were my weird automotive stories of this last while. Think about that. 2 cars, 2 brand new transmissions, and both of them totaled. And I don't know if the transmissions went to waste or they pulled them out at the yard and made money on them. But didn't matter. It didn't work. So now, gotta find another vehicle at some point that gets good mileage. Or, I don't know what else to do. We'll see. But that's bargain hunting. Bargain hunting, 101. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes you win and lose. Anyway, we're down to saying goodnight time. My 15 minutes is up. We got seconds to go. So, good night, everyone. Take care of yourselves and be good to each other. If you can't do anything at all, sleep. Relax.